Kia ora. In the news today, a review by Australian Customs has confirmed a boatload of Sri Lankans who arrived at the port of Geraldton last month was heading to New Zealand. The review looked into how the fishing vessel carrying 66 people made it to the Australian mainland undetected, the first to do so in about 5 years. Customs says when the ship's master realised it wasn't possible to safely complete the voyage to New Zealand, he headed for the Australian coastline. Family First is considering appealing a decision that means it will be deregistered as a charity later this month. The Charities Commission has made the ruling. Family First spokesman Bob McCoskrie says one of the reasons is the organisation's traditional view on marriage.
They felt that wasn't in the public interest and that it was in the public interest for us to be deregistered, which I think is pretty concerning.
And we'll have more on that story on Tuesday's edition of End Zone Now at 9 o'clock on Shine TV. A gay man who says the Bishop of Auckland discriminated against him has told the Human Rights Tribunal about the distress of not being allowed to pursue his chosen career. The gay and lesbian anti-clerical group says the Anglican Church breached the Human Rights Act by refusing Gino Cisneros entry into the discernment process based on his sexuality. Mr Cisneros says he wasn't treated with dignity and now feels isolated from those he trained with at Theological College. The Northland Forest and Bird Association is adamant that mining exploration is one of the greatest threats to the region's future. The group's chairman, Dean Bajent Mercer, says Puhi Puhi Hill near Whakapara has been nicknamed Mercury Mountain by locals and is seen as a major threat to the waterways. He says the toxic mining of it, which is set to begin in the next couple of weeks, will create millions of tonnes of toxic waste.
Ultimately, any jobs that are created are going to end up being used to clean up as well. We're all going to fork out for the disasters that the government's trying to inflict upon us.
The northeast of the South Island is in for more rain. Heavy rain forecast to continue in northern Canterbury and the Kaikoura ranges through to this evening, where 120 millimetres of rain is possible. Met Service is warning people that rivers and streams may rise rapidly with slips and surface flooding possible. Rain and winds have caused chaos across many parts of the country in the last 24 hours. Met Service severe weather forecaster John Couch says most of the rain will clear by tomorrow, but only for a short time as a new front's expected to move in by Thursday for most of the country. The resurgence of the country stock market is being reflected on the government's books. The NZX 50 is up more than 1,000 points from where it was a year ago. That gain appears to have made its mark on the government's tax take. Crown account figures out today show the tax take from other individuals' tax is almost 15% above forecast at more than $400 million. UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon has appealed for restraint to avoid an escalation in Syria's civil war, expressing grave concern over Israeli airstrikes. Israel launched the strikes earlier that hit 3 military sites near Damascus, the second such reported attack in a 48-hour period. In Sydney, a would-be robber has burns to his face after a bucket of chilli was poured over his head. He'd been arguing with staff at a takeaway and then attempted to open the till. He's due in court today. New Zealand businesses will be on show at this year's America's Cup. Construction of the Emirates Team New Zealand base in San Francisco has begun, kicking off a series of events showcasing Kiwi businesses. Economic Development Minister Stephen Joyce says New Zealand has a strong marine and digital technology association with the America's Cup, and a program's been developed alongside the event to show that off. And that's all from us for today. Thanks very much for watching. Paul Murray.